Have you ever been the woman who looked like she was handling everything, but inside you were overwhelmed? I have. There was a season in my life when I was working, raising my sons, taking care of my family, serving, and trying to keep everything moving. From the outside, it probably looked like I was doing just fine. I was getting things done, I was showing up, I was taking care of what needed to be taken care of. But inside, I was tired. And I didn't realize how much I was carrying until I reached a place where my heart was saying, this is just too much. And maybe that's where you are today. You're functioning, you're getting things done, but your heart is overwhelmed. If that's you, I want to show you something in Psalm 61 that has become so powerful to me. My overwhelm wasn't just about being busy. And even now, for a long time, I thought my problem was that I had too much to do. So naturally, I thought the answer was figuring out how to manage everything better and how I can organize this and how I can fit this in. How can I get everything done? But eventually I had to realize that it wasn't only what I was doing that was overwhelming me. It was what I was carrying. I was carrying responsibilities. I was carrying expectations. I was carrying the pressure of trying to make sure everything and everyone was okay. And sometimes as women, we become so accustomed to carrying things that we don't even realize how heavy they have become. We just keep on going. That's why Psalm 61:2 speaks so deeply to me. David says, when my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. Notice David didn't say if my heart becomes overwhelmed. If. He said when. That changed everything for me because overwhelmed didn't mean I was failing. It meant that I needed somewhere to go. I had to stop trying to be the rock. Here is something else I had to learn. I couldn't keep being strong. I couldn't keep being the strong one for everybody and never acknowledge when I needed strength. Maybe you know what that's like. Everybody calls you, of course. Everybody depends on you, of course. You're the one who figures things out. You're the one who remembers. You're the one who keep things moving. Keep them going. And after a while, without even realizing it, you start behaving as though you have to be the rock. Song 61, it reminds me so beautifully. It reminds me that Felicia, you are not the rock. God is. And somebody watching me today needs that reminder as well. You don't have to be the rock for everybody. You have a rock. It says, lead me. Then I started paying attention to two little words in the scripture. One was lead me. David didn't just say God changed what was happening. He asked God to lead him. And that became so important to me because when I was overwhelmed, even now when I'm overwhelmed, I want to figure everything out. I want to know, how am I going to get all this done? How am I going to handle this? How am I going to make all this work? But I began listening. I began learning to ask a different question. God, what are you asking me to do right now? Not next month. Not everything on my list. Not everything everybody else wants me to do. But what are you asking me to do right now? Sometimes the answer was to move forward. Sometimes it was to say no. Sometimes it was to let something go. And sometimes I just needed some rest. That was all part of my journey from constantly pushing myself forward to pushing myself towards learning how to live with more harmony. Maybe it's not your schedule. That's why today when I talk to an overwhelmed woman, I don't want you to immediately feel like it's about your schedule, because sometimes your schedule isn't the first thing that needs attention. Sometimes we need to look at what we are carrying. And maybe you're carrying guilt because you can't do everything for everybody. Maybe you're carrying expectations that were never God's expectations for you. Maybe you're carrying responsibilities someone else could help with. Maybe you're carrying worry about something that you can't even control. Or maybe you're simply being poured out for so long that you haven't stopped long enough to even realize it. I'm empty. I've been there. So that's why I want you to hear this today. You don't have to figure everything out before you come to God. Come to Him overwhelmed. The rock gave me a different view. Think about it. Think about what happens when you climb higher. Your perspective changes. Your situation below may still be there, but you don't see it the same way anymore. That's what God's presence began doing for me. When everything felt urgent, He helped me to see what actually mattered. When I thought I had to do everything, He showed me what I could release. When I felt guilty about slowing down, He began teaching me that rest wasn't something I had to earn. And when I felt like everything depended on me, He reminded me, it doesn't. God is higher than the thing that's overwhelming me. And He's higher than the thing that's overwhelming you. So I want you to do something today. Don't start by making another list. Don't start by trying to fix everything at one time. Find a quiet moment and just ask yourself, what am I carrying that's making my heart feel so overwhelmed? And then bring that answer to God. Your prayer doesn't have to be long. It can simply be, Lord, my heart is overwhelmed. Lead me. Lead me in what stays. Lead me in what goes. Lead me in what needs my attention. And lead me into what I need to release. Lead me, Lord, in where I need to rest. And lead me to the rock that is higher than I. If I could sit with you across the table, what would you say, tell me on today? You don't have to carry everything today. You don't have to solve everything today. And you certainly don't have to be everyone's rock, because you have a rock. I'm learning that harmony doesn't mean my life will never become busy, or that I will never feel overwhelmed again, because I will. But it does mean I know where to turn to when it does. I return to God. I return to His presence. I return to His direction. And I let Him lead me again. So if your heart is overwhelmed today, make Psalm 61:2 your prayer. Lead me to the rock that is higher than I. One release, one decision, and one faithful step at a time. That's how we began moving from overwhelm to harmony. If this spoke to you where you are right now, put lead me in the comments. And share this with another woman who's been carrying more than she says out loud. And if you're looking for more encouragement to help you move from overwhelm and burnout towards peace and harmony, subscribe and join me here on next week. Until next time, remember, harmony and not hustle. See you on the next video.